For all of you who listen to Submersion and own an Android device, go to the Google Play Store and download the Podcast Republic app. It's a fantastic app that allows you to get all of your favorite podcasts directly on your Android device. I personally use the app and I love it. I can search for the podcast I want to listen to, select it as a favorite, and have it just a click away. Make sure to select Submersion as a favorite so you don't miss any of our new episodes. Again, the app is the Podcast Republic app, available on Android devices. Episode 117.
Woo!
Oh, yes. We've got a very special episode. We're kicking off Jamie's Good Movie Month.
Shouldn't I be the one that does this? Because I'm letting everyone know that it is time that we brought this back to the good old-fashioned submarine films. And that's why we're launching Jamie's Good Movie Month. Non-ironic.
I love that name.
Did you put quotes around good?
What's that?
Did you put quotes around good?
Why would I do that?
I don't know.
I didn't on social media.
Yeah, no, it's Jamie's Good Movie Month. Good old-fashioned submarine films. Classics, if you will. Really just trying to make sure it's like sub-centric, and at least two of these are very sub-centric. I think the third one is even pretty sub-centric. And the last one, just for fun. Just for us kooky guys. Just want to have some fun, you know?
Great.
And they're very accessible on Tubi TV if anybody wants to check them out and watch them for free streaming on Tubi TV. Not yet.
And legal.
Not yet a sponsor. And legal. We posted on social media what we are watching, so go over, check that out. Give us a like and a follow, and watch along.
Yeah, and do not forget, if you're one of those Twitchers, we are live on Twitch right now.
Not when you're listening to the podcast, probably.
They could still check. Maybe we're on.
Yeah. We might.
Maybe we could still be going.
Maybe some fans like to listen to our last episode, but watch our new episode on mute.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Is it?
No, but
no, not
I
at
try
all.
to like make you, feel okay every once in a while. I think some should be announced. If you are watching, you see somebody, but you haven't heard somebody yet. Yeah. We got a very special person here. I think I overused the word special. I think I say that quite a bit. But
wait a second, Kyle.
Yes.
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right, good. I didn't want to step on anything, whatever that was. But Jamie, who'd you bring with you for Jamie's Good Movie Month?
I think it's kind of like a little known fact around here. I actually have a website. I don't know if you guys knew this. Did you guys know?
There's no way. We would have heard about it before.
Well, it's true.
You would have heard about this like in episode 1 or something, right?
Probably. Well, no, yeah. You'd think I'd have mentioned it before, but it's called badmovietwins.com.
Yeah. And I'm the twin. I'm the other one.
You didn't pick up what I was putting down, Patrick.
Worst twins. Badmovietwins.com. Oh no, worst twins in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No gun.
I'm here as the first time. Maybe people didn't believe that we were actually identical twins, but here we are in the flesh on Twitch.
Speaking of Twitch, you're officially classified as identical twins, right?
Yes, we are.
Because I've seen some very identical twins in the past, but then well, technically we're not. We're actually paternal or whatever it's called.
Yeah, paternal. No, we are. We genetically we are 100%. 100%. We know from one of those online genetic testing sites, not very to be named because they're not a sponsor yet. Maybe for Twinmersion, when we launch Twinmersion, we can get them on board.
It's really weird because you guys say identical, but Patrick, you are much sexier than Jamie is.
I think it's just the hair.
Same thing.
It's my COVID
quarantine
Jamie's
hair. Doing the eye roll right now. He's like, "What the heck, man?"
He's way more stylish because he lives in like highfalutin London, and he has this like really sexy British accent. And for me, like I'm just like a red-blooded American, and I like meat and potatoes kind of stuff. So you might think it's like more of like a dad bod going on, but really it's like it's like American, like full American, right?
You probably know that Jamie has a much better singing voice, though.
So. Oh, it's true. It's true.
100%. Speaking of Twitch, does anyone here, anyone have big followings on Twitch in video game stuff? Do speedruns?
I've been playing a lot of Fall Guys recently.
Okay.
I've got
I saw that. You're pretty good, right?
Yeah, I've got 32 wins. The game just came out, but it definitely speaks to me. I've been churning through it with some buddies and streaming it. We don't get a whole lot of followers or anything like that, but no, it's very fun. If you want to check out Twitch TV/Brahmatron, watch me play some Fall Guys.
Might have to. I don't know.
I think Zach, you're like the other one. You've got a pretty okay Twitch channel, right?
I mean, if you say, yeah, I got some really good. I got some three or four average.
He's received a
viewers.
donation from someone he doesn't know. So
I have made profit.
What?
I have made
Wait.
profit streaming. So
So wait, is this like, do bots have money now?
no. Shout out to Booyah Radley.
yeah.
Sometimes they just give them, some Satoishis or whatever those Bitcoin fractions are. Just throws them out there. The bots.
Wow.
Should we give a shout out to our winner, or are we saving that, Kyle?
No, we definitely should. If I had all that information up right now, you have that up.
Interesting.
I'll
You
pull
have
it
that
up
up, Zach?
right now. What do we want? Just as a Twitch name, or because not Twitch?
Well, we got Twitter
name?
and we've got Instagram. So you pull up Twitter, I will pull up Instagram because you are too cool for Instagram now, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm taking a step back from a lot of the social medias, focusing on the start of the school year. So,
So it's not about the gram anymore? Because I know it's all about the gram for you.
dude, the gram is up on the shelf in the back collecting dust.
You hang up your TikTok dentures.
No, I'm still ticking while I'm talking.
That's good.
No, I've never had a TikTok. Ben, though, that guy had some TikToks
who's
in his
Ben?
day.
You have a TikTok?
Say what?
You have a TikTok?
Yeah. Dude, me and my buddy Tyler, we love watching like the dark, seedy underbelly, like meme lords on TikTok. It's pretty funny. I got a cringe from both Patrick and Jamie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not
That's
that
that
doesn't sound great.
100%. That's that 100% identical twinhood over there.
Yeah, that's true. We're both hearing things
they
we're not liking.
cringe in unison.
All right, we're going to give a shout out to the winner of this Vans refrigerator. No, I'm just kidding. The winner of our contest. Kyle, do you want to take it, or do you want me just to announce who it is?
Go for it.
Congratulations to Andrew Hall. You can find him on Twitter at AndrewHall.com.
Apparently he has a podcast too.
AndrewHall.com. He was born on August 2nd. He joined
What the
Twitter
hell? All
August
right.
2007.
Wow.
All right.
Early adopter.
I thought you were about to dox him. I was gonna
Yeah, I know. I was like, what else you got on this guy?
Like
social security number.
He is currently sitting in his
sent
bedroom.
him-
No, I'm just kidding.
He lives at 428
I sent
Brixton
him-
Road.
But
I sent him
no. This
the,
guy, he's got his own
award.
podcast. Andrew Hall presents Dead Hand Radio, a Cold War podcast. So I haven't
fun.
personally listened to one of these episodes yet, but it's got to be great.
I agree.
Yes. So yes, Andrew won the Steelbook 4K edition of Hunt for Red October, and then over on Instagram, user Lindsay Zombie Girl won the Sean Connery Funko Pop.
Was she
Congrats.
excited?
She seems pretty excited.
Good.
So that's good.
People like those.
They should
things.
be in their hands on Saturday. So
I might have a dumb
thank you
question.
for entering.
Wait, bots have hands now?
They do have hands.
We got to get some viewer picks with that stuff too. So hopefully they give us,
Well, maybe I can find out my question. My question was going to be, what's a Funko Pop? It's on all my podcasts. I've literally never seen a picture of one and have no idea
A
what it
vinyl
is.
figure
It's a little vinyl.
Yeah.
Is
I
it
will
a
post
2D
a
or is it a
picture
3D figure?
with the big black eyes, the
in
wide
this
head.
Discord right now.
Oh, cool.
I see. I've got one looking right at me. I've got Daenerys Targaryen
Ew.
riding a dragon, breathing
Yeah.
some fire.
Okay. So I take it's 2D like a picture?
What began as an innocent conversation among friends would soon spiral out of control and later be referred to by future generations as the eighth wonder of the modern world. Mac East Studios takes you on the journey of your lifetime as your captains, the artist formerly known as Brom, Jamie the Ointment, Kyle El Capitan, and the Gruesome Twosome present Submersion.
I just posted
I
a
gotta
picture of
say-
my Funko.
I got to say, I love us being on camera and streaming. It's going to be the death of us. We've already been talking for 10 minutes or something now?
Yeah, I know.
I mean,
I was waiting for
wow.
that. I was waiting for it to come in. I thought we were going to blast into the summary far before that. But just to get things moving, Brom, what did we watch tonight?
We watched a B movie called The B Movie.
No.
We watched Depth Charge.
Starring
Eric Roberts.
And
who else do we have there? Bridget Ann White, Jason Gedrick, Chris Warren Jr.
Yeah, I think the
Barry
important
Bostwick.
Barry
Yes.
Bostwick, yes.
But it is a movie that I've been eyeing because it's one of those ones that is 100% submarine all the time. But I've been kind of shying away from it because it's one of the newer B movies or Z movies, however you want to say it, that it come out. So it's a 2008, I think, right? Movie. And newer bad movies, because of excessive computer graphics and stuff like that, can be a little less fun than some of the 90s ones. But this one actually I was pleasantly surprised. Not so computer graphics centric.
And I think a lot of the newer bad movies know the allure of bad movies.
Sure, like a Sharknado.
And they have an inroad there, and now they kind of lean into it a little bit, and it's sometimes kind of a little too transparent for me. I'm not a big Thanksgiving guy. I know that's a pretty popular one, but
whoa, come on, man!
Sorry,
that's a good one. I
And
even
so,
have
yes.
a mug with that thing's face on it. It was a gift.
that's what I'm saying. They've embraced it too much. They knew what they were doing.
All right, so should we get into some recap for this, or do people have more to say before we jump right in?
Best movie I ever saw.
Oh, okay, right up the top. Wow.
Yeah.
So, Depth Charge, starring Eric Roberts. We open on the USS Montana. It is a specialized submarine that's all about stealth. And they're in the middle of a war game, and I couldn't really tell. Are we supposed to know it's a war game? It's just got to be, since they're going against the USS Florida, which is a attack submarine, so an SSN. They're on an SSBN, the USS Montana, and then there's the SSN coming after them. And we're quickly introduced to the doctor, who's stitching up Chris Warren's character, the electronics guy. And he's like, give me a pretty sexy scar. And he's super nerdy. He's like, it's going to be real
Say
sexy.
it just like that.
Yeah. He's like, it's going to be real sexy, man. And then the doctor's like, all right. And then we're also introduced to Eric Roberts. And what is he doing in his bunk?
Dude, he is losing his mind. Popping
taking
some
drugs.
pills.
He is getting a little toasty. And we don't know yet what those drugs are, but oh boy, it's make him go a little loopy. But not loopy enough to prevent him from doing his job, because he goes right up to the bridge and it's like, let's get this going. Basically, the Florida's after them, has spotted them, is getting ready to attack them, and they go, engage the Phantom, and they go stealth. And they disappear completely off the radar. And the Florida's like, shit. Well, wherever they were, trying to shoot something or whatever, I don't even know. They're going to turn around, they're going to do a crazy dive, and they're going to come right after us. And so they're like, we're fucked. Crash dive. So they crash dive real quick. That's a little hint about what movie they may have knocked off for this this film. They crash dive, but the Montana, it's just too specialized a sub. It's too good. And it's like, fat chance. And they shoot off some quote-unquote torpedoes and nail the Florida. And the simulation is over. It was kind of interesting that they show them actually shooting off torpedoes. I'm not really even sure. It's a simulation.
I was just like, oh, man, here we go.
Right.
What's going to go on?
I'm not even sure what they were. I guess they must have just bounced off the submarine when they got near them or something like that.
So if you watch the behind the scenes, these are actually, there's a really super popular breakfast cereal with marshmallows in it. And that's what these torpedoes are made out of.
Wow.
A giant chunk of marshmallow.
Huh. Well, it didn't seem
Makes
that way.
sense.
But anyways, sounds like a good plan, because they didn't blow up. The Florida was like shit. They kind of talk back and forth, and they're like, oh, good job, whatever. And Eric Roberts is like, seems like you may have pissed him off a little bit. And they're kind of going back and forth on the Montana because the captain's retiring, and he's like, ugh, it's good last thing to do. And he's like, Eric Roberts is like, I got to disagree a little bit. He's like, I know it's not ideal, but look at what you're getting promoted to be a desk job in the Pentagon. It's an honor. You've had a great career. And he's like, I deserve to be a submarine captain. That's what Eric Roberts is saying. And we got a little hint that he may not be so happy relinquishing command, if you will, when it comes time. Because he wanted to be a captain. Now, he's a little old. Let's be real. I mean, he's like a pretty old person to be like getting his first command, but he still wanted it, right?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I mean, think of people taking over subs. It's not going to be, what is he here? Late 50s?
Yeah, I mean, that might be even generous. I think he might be in the 60s at that point.
Okay, yeah.
But anyways, they start heading back, and they're heading back to Iceland. So that's where they're based. And they get like they hear a distress signal from like a fishing boat above on the ocean. And basically the captain's like, well, we'll hang around. A UN boat's coming and it's going to help them out. And Eric Roberts is like, well, we do have one last like rescue at sea training exercise to do with the skeleton crew. What do you think about trying that out? And the captain's like, yeah, good idea. Let's bring a bunch of civilians onto this super top secret stealth submarine. And it's just like, this is absurd. It's just crazy. Like,
yeah,
they would never do this. They're almost certainly, first of all, not American citizens. And it turns out that they aren't. Like the boat, it just didn't even make any sense. Like, there's no way that they do this. And what's funny is this is a knockoff. Like, this is where I was watching this and I had to stop it and be like, I know this movie. And I went back and figured out what it was.
We've seen this before, right?
Yeah. So do you remember which one it was?
I can't for the life of, but I mean,
I gave a big hint, yeah.
With a little Dudikoff action?
It's a little Dudikoff called Crash Dive, where in Crash Dive, they hear a distress signal from a fishing boat trapped in a hurricane, go up to the surface, bring the people on board, and it turns out to be a plot to take over the submarine. And then it turns out that in that case, the captain wasn't, or the Cobb was in on the plane or something like that.
Yeah.
I think that was
But anyway, I mean, it's right there. I forgot where that came from, but I was like, man, I know that scene. And then I was going on a walk today, and I realized I was like, oh, this is that Dudikoff movie. And I can't remember if it was the first or the second one because I can't remember the difference right now between them. But it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah. It's the same. And then there's certain key points. They knocked off that script, and there is no credit. I actually was looking and trying to figure out, well, they must have credited somewhere or something, or they had the same producer or someone owned the rights. No, nothing. Not a single connection. But there's multiple things in here that they knocked off that script, 100%.
Yeah, for some reason I kept on going back to, was it Operation Delta Force 3? How did I get in the submarine in that one? Wasn't it a similar way? Nah, I can't remember. Anyways, go on.
Was that with Luke Cash?
So I thought that was the other possibility. But when I went back and I listened to some of our previous episodes, I figured out that it was Crash Dive. So the Doc is not let off the submarine with the rest of the crew because he's sleeping in the storeroom. Basically, he doesn't like being bothered by everyone else, and so he's like found a spot in the storeroom to sleep. And so no one knows he's in there. And then the electronics guy is fixing something kind of underneath the boards or kind of the area. And so no one knows where he is. And so he's like fixing something. He realizes that something's going on and kind of hides there. So those two are still left on board. And then, I guess I didn't mention also that the doctor, for whatever reason, is training to not be a doctor anymore and to be like an electronics person. So we see a scene where he's also training that. I'm not sure why.
That was so crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, it's probably because he has such an exemplary career.
That's true.
But it made no sense. He just wanted to know the ins and outs of everything on the submarine. And at this point, you should be like, maybe this guy's a spy.
Yeah, and then
or he wants to be a captain or something. I don't know.
Or something. And then what we see when this next part comes up makes you think, well, who is this guy? He seems crazy. But they're hidden away. All the rest of the crew is put up on that fishing vessel, including the former captain, because Eric Roberts is in leagues with the terrorists and is promotes himself to captain. He's like, I'm the captain now, and then becomes the captain. And so the captain's there, and someone else is like, hey, I got a radio. And as the scene was going on, I was like, don't use that radio yet. Wait until the submarine leaves. And then he immediately uses the radio, and the submarine's like, we're picking up a signal. They're sending a distress call. And Eric Roberts is like, shit. And they're like, that UN boat's coming and telling us to halt. And Eric Roberts is like, shit. He's like, we're going to torpedo them. And everyone, even the terrorists are like, can't we? Let's just go stealth and get out of here. Like, why do we have to torpedo and kill? Like, that wasn't really part of the plan. And Eric Roberts is like, well, we got to show him who's boss or whatever. And they send off torpedoes and obliterate the captain and the UN boat. And so that's like, we're right off the bat. Eric Roberts is like off, his cabeza at that point. The other funny thing at this point is They went to periscope depth. Did anyone else hear what periscope depth was for them?
No, I did not notice.
150 feet. That seems incredibly far for them to be at periscope depth. How are they even getting a periscope all the way up to 150 feet?
I mean, that's crazy.
It's a huge. That's a huge periscope. Anyways,
let's look up normal periscope depth.
Oh.
It's going to be like 10 feet.
I think it's probably 50 feet or something, but it's like 150. That seems
Wow!
absurd.
All right, so
it would have to be telescoping too.
Guesses.
50.
50?
Zach says 20.
I'm going to go 40.
20?
Slightly under 50.
40?
I'll go 60. I'll go 60 feet.
Okay, so according to science.howstuffworks.com, the science military section called Dancing with the Gray Lady, How Photonics Masts Will Work, periscopes on submarines may be as long as 60 feet.
Brom got it. Not 150.
Finally
though.
won something.
I mean, maybe as long, so.
And maybe on this experimental submarine, they're even longer at 150 feet. So anyways,
Could be.
the entire idea is they're going to launch a bomb and strike Washington, D.C. unless they get $1 billion. And
Yes!
yeah, they let the Air Force One know, and we are introduced to my favorite character, the president, who is played by Barry Bostwick, which we know from Moby Dick, 2010 Moby Dick. And he is my favorite part about his character is just how nonchalant he is as the president. They come in and they're like, "Yeah, that stealth submarine has been taken over." He's like, "Really? That submarine? It's like a experimental one, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Great. Okay, assemble everyone, and we'll get working on this." Wait, what? It's like a nuclear submarine. It's going to launch a thing. They're asking for $1 billion.
And, all right, so something that also is kind of nuts. I mean, I don't know if they would do this usually, but, they're running test simulations, right, to test out this technology.
Yeah.
Would you arm a submarine running test with a bunch of nuclear warheads?
Maybe
No.
you would have to.
I don't
You
know
might
if
have
you
to
would.
get the weight right. I don't know.
Oh, good call.
Because you're testing
Yeah,
the
probably.
stealth abilities, but if you load it up, maybe it can't. You're not testing
sure
it.
Good
there's
call,
some-
Patrick.
I
That's
know.
why you're here.
I think there's probably some breakfast cereal they could find that would equal the weight of the bomb, right?
I would agree. But
Some Oreo O's, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Zach,
obviously.
Zach, what would you weigh down your submarine with if you had to balance the weight of the sub to match working conditions?
What would I weigh it down with?
Yeah. If you're traveling light, but because you don't have actual nuclear warheads on it,
Oh, but I wanted to make it seem like I did.
yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, what's heavier? I don't know, like 100 pounds of bricks or 100 pounds of cotton balls. I don't know.
Those would be
Call.
equal.
As I mean, it's a big question.
No, but in reality, what if I had to actually keep something? Well, what happens can it be edible, Ben?
Yeah.
So I can start eating it?
Yeah.
What about a fruitcake?
Because
Bananas.
Bananas, bad luck though.
yeah, I was
sure.
gonna say, get that
But I
guy
want to
out of
You,
here.
you don't want to get gnats in there, when they start to spoil.
Yeah.
Bagels. Figured it out.
I like the idea of there being just like your submarine's filled with gnats, and you're like, where are all these gnats coming from?
I would say every specialty Oreo that ever existed.
That's a really good
Now
call.
we're talking.
Because then
I'll
yeah,
just-
I could last 60, 70 day tour with that.
I'll just die happy doing that.
So, anyways, the doctor starts out at this point, and he is snapping necks left and right. And all of a sudden, it's like, who is this doctor? He has no backstory. There is no character development. I'm like, holy shit, who is this person?
Dude, he's
we don't
next
know.
level, man. He's insane.
And they start getting suspicious on the submarine. They're like, there's someone still here. Like, you assholes didn't check everything. He's extremely dangerous. And the tech, who's still hiding, thinks they're talking about him. I was going to be like, bro, they're not talking about you. He just said extremely dangerous. Like, get out of here.
Oh, snap, man.
But then we start to get the first instance of the doctor's catchphrase, because he takes someone out and gets on the horn and boop, goes up to the con. He goes, "Con, get off my sub." And we hear that 6 or 7 times from here on out.
Oh,
Get
at
off my
least.
sub.
I mean, that's
I
like
mean, a lot of times that's the only thing he even says.
Pretty much.
that's like his yippee-ki-yay, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Gorbachev.
Everyone was saying that after
Get
after
off
this movie came
my
out.
sub. What'd you say? Sorry, Patrick.
No, I was just
I made
saying,
a really bad joke.
after this movie came out, everyone was saying, get off my sub. It was the yippee-ki-yay.
I remember that was big in 2008.
Yeah.
T-shirts,
That's huge.
toys.
Financial crisis.
all the time.
That phrase.
Yeah.
We were in the stands in college, like rooting for our team, and everyone would go, "Get off our sub." That's what they say, like when we were trying to like, root on the home team. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's a super sub, so nothing can really touch it. It can always go like silent and stealth, and so like the Florida's trying to follow it. It's kind of put on its tail, and they're getting a little pissed. Not only are they losing people on the submarine, but talking about the people on the Montana, that's terrorists. Also, so Eric Roberts, he decides we're going to show him who's boss, almost like a last resort type situation, where he's like, I'm going to launch this bomb into the middle of nowhere just to let him know we're serious, and he does. And the president's like, oh boy, that's pretty intense, and that's what the president says. And he continues to be basically being like, hey, what's up? Like people will walk in the room and he'll be like, what's up? Like, you're the president. This is so weird. You're like so nonchalant about all this stuff.
And you can tell that they wanted, I don't know if they didn't have the budget or whatever, but they're like, we're just going to film this at somebody's house and make this the president's.
I feel like it was actually Barry Bostwick's house. He's like, I'm not leaving my house. And they were like, yeah, fine.
That could have been it.
That's what
you got. Do you have an ill-fitting suit you can wear for this? He's like, why, yes, I actually do right here. A tie that's maybe 6 inches too short. Yes, I have that as well.
And so the doctor and the tech, they kind of meet up on the submarine. It becomes, double Die Hard at this point. They're kind of like creeping around, but the tech is like immediately. They keep on like kind of getting into bad situations. Like they keep on getting shot and all this stuff. And the doctor really is mostly doing hand-to-hand combat. So they'll come around and they'll just start shooting at him, and he'll like run away. And he gets shot in the abdomen, and the tech gets shot in the leg, and they're kind of like separated at that point for a little while. And then at this point, we learn kind of what's going on with Eric Roberts, because the president is informed that, okay, he has a loose cannon. He's got all this like shit in his concerning stuff in his house. Like it's basically like he's got like a manifesto and all kinds of weird stuff going on. His wife left him. His second wife left him. He's like behind on all his alimony payments, and he's in like super debt. He was, super angry about getting passed over for this promotion, and he's got a brain tumor that he needs to take pills for that make him psychotic. There's a lot going on in Eric Roberts' life at this point.
It is, man.
Those pills, I don't even know what they are.
What is even more important? He's got less than a year to live.
Yeah, it's true.
You got a dead man walking here.
Now, I'm not going to say I'm like an expert on brain tumors or anything like that, but these pills seem insane and not actually comparable to anything in real life. Because he literally is like, ow, my brain tumor. And then he takes them, becomes psychotic for a second, and then he's able to go back to work. It's real weird.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, you like it?
Oh, yeah. I think we're going to see something like this with a lot of the coronavirus vaccines that are going to be coming out here untested.
Hey. You think it's going to be just like these pills?
Yeah, exactly like it, yeah. We'll all go psychotic.
Is that your expert scientific opinion? It's too bad we don't have Alex on to lend his scientific opinion about that, though.
I know. It would be good, but unfortunately he's not here.
I don't have any opinion whatsoever.
Oh, thank you, Alex.
Wait, did Alex just come on?
No, that was me. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Spot on. And you'd mentioned before that we did not have any backstory on our doctor.
We did not at that point.
We get it all, right? This is where, like, this one scene, they give us all the information on every character that we need.
Just to set it up real quick, they are able to reach the doctor, and the tech are able to reach the communication room and send off a buoy, and they put the names in, and that's kind of what you're going to hear, right?
Oh, and this is very important because this comes up not just this time, but you'll hear this again later.
First name?
James.
Hey.
What are you doing? Where's that gonna go?
Satellite picks it up, bounces it over to one of our ships, and they pass it along to Washington.
The president's gonna see my name?
If we live through this, they'll make a movie about us.
I'm up for that. Who do you think's gonna play me? Denzel?
I was thinking someone more like Samuel Jackson.
Oh, that's cool too, man. I mean, Sam Jackson, Denzel, whatever. That's cool.
That's just
There we
banter,
go.
man. That was grade A.
It's
Ad-libbing.
lit.
That is top
Dude,
of the line
who do you guys think would play him better in this role?
I don't think they would get. I don't think that doesn't make any sense. Those actors are like in their 60s.
Too old. Yeah, it'd be like a Michael J. White kind of thing.
Right. Or what about Denzel's kid? Right? Isn't he just he's just in that Christopher Nolan movie? I mean, he's a star of Tenet. So why not? Why wouldn't it be him? But I guess at this point in 2008, he would have been too young.
Is he the main guy in Tenet?
I believe so. Isn't that Denzel Washington?
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that's who that was.
I believe so.
What about who's the guy who plays Creed?
Yeah, Michael J. White.
Again, in 2008, it would have been too young at that point. No. That's not true. That's Michael B. Jordan.
That's what I meant.
Plays Creed, yeah.
Who's Michael J. White?
Dude, what about
martial artist,
at this
right?
time? So 2008 is still probably a little too old, but Chris Tucker, I think. But, he's probably too old at this time, right?
That would have been okay. That would have been an okay one, though. I don't know. I think what we're saying is we needed to do more research on this question.
And we didn't do it. Dang it.
Did not.
Just for the record,
anyways.
for the record, Michael J. White is a martial artist who is in the fourth Universal Soldier film, I believe. Anyways, go on.
Good.
Yeah, so like I said, they would replace this B-list actor with another B-list actor.
Yeah. I mean, B-list might be generous for Michael J. White. But
Yeah, I changed my answer to Michael B. Jordan. I got them confused.
by about 20 years or whatever.
Yes.
So yeah, do you have it? And then so because they got this buoy, they get the names in to the president, and then the president is able to be informed a little bit about our characters as well. So we get some more character development somehow.
He's quite impressed with one of them.
What have you got on the two crew members still on board the Montana?
John Ellers, the ship's medical officer, and James Pearsall, an electrician's mate. Ellers is 34 years old, parents unknown, raised in a series of foster homes until he graduated from high school. Was quite a promising young athlete and made something of a name for himself as an amateur fighter. Enlisted in the Navy at age 25, he received 2 years of advanced training to qualify as ship's medical officer. Performance ratings are across the board excellent.
Wow.
My favorite part of that is they go, he made a name for himself as an amateur fighter, and the president goes,
He's
amateur
a fan
fighter.
Of boxing.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
That is actually very useful here.
It does explain some of the ass kicking he's been handing out here.
What a chance. What an opportunity. Huh.
Yeah.
So anyways, they're able to then continue their efforts to sabotage everything. They're karate chopping people on necks, taking people out. They're able to get to the location and get the tech in there to really use his skills, because he's able to rip apart like all of the electronics and kind of take stuff down to the point. What's that?
Do you want his background?
Oh, sure. Give me that, because I'm sure it's just as extensive and detailed.
You'll see.
And Pearsall?
James Pearsall, electrician's mate, qualified in weapons control. Enlisted in the Navy 2 years ago, transferred to submarine service 6 months ago. His service record, also exemplary.
Good. Well, let's do whatever we can to help these two heroes by buying them some time.
Just a little, less. It's just less, right?
We
don't know his family history. We know that the doctor is an orphan, bounced around from home to home. We don't know anything about our electrician like that.
He's an amateur fighter before transitioning to medical school, apparently.
Mm-hmm. It's what it is, man.
Yeah. And the funny thing also about that, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think the president really bought them any time at all.
No, he didn't do anything.
Yeah,
He
they're
just waited.
high-fiving and congratulating at the end of the movie, and they're like, you did a hell of a job. And then like, no, you did a hell of a job. And I'm just like, you guys did nothing. You're just bureaucrats.
They just waited.
They do get Corbin Burnson on the phone, and they're like,
Yes.
get your ass over there. So that helps a little bit, right?
And
Yeah,
they
kinda.
pull everyone away other than the Florida, which is like, I guess part of it is to make it so he doesn't go totally, Eric Roberts doesn't go totally crazy and launch too early or do something drastic. So I guess they do kind of step away enough for long enough to give them the time. But otherwise, they could have just like not answered his calls, Eric Roberts' calls, for a while, and the same effect would have went. So anyways, they're able to take everything down electronically, and they have to basically, they can't do any stealth. They really can't move at all. They're at a crawl. So that's when the Florida is able to kind of catch up to them and potentially get an opportunity to take them out. Unfortunately, it's almost weird. It seems like the captain of the Florida is not. He's not really believing that they're going to find the submarine. So they keep on saying, "Oh, we think this is a submarine. Think this is a submarine," and he's like, continue the course," until it becomes obvious that it's the Montana, and then he goes after them. But they're able to, just at the very last moment, get all the electronics back up and shut down, put themselves into stealth and prevent the Florida from taking them out. And then Eric Roberts is like super pissed, and it's basically like, you know what? Here's my real plan and what's really going on. And he kind of explains how it's not about the money. It's not about, really even bombing Washington. It's about terrorism and taking out terrorists, and that he's going to, this is his opportunity now with the submarine to do all of that. Like, he's going to be able to go and he's going to wipe out all of the terrorists himself. They're the terrorist army. And all the terrorists that are with him are like, what? Like that.
Like,
well, I didn't know that was a plan.
Yeah, we're the guys. Why are you going against us, man? You brought us into this.
Well, I remember reading the descriptions of the film before watching it, and it's always described as like a wild gambit for world peace. And it's like so hard to parse what he's saying into world peace. It's like, I'm going to kill
psychotic.
all these people, and then there'll be world peace forever. And it's like, okay, maybe.
Yeah. And then he's just psychotic. He's like popping these brain pills left and right. He's like going super crazy. And then he goes so crazy to the point where the people that he sends after, they even catch the doctor. And the doctor's sitting there. And going back to what we talked about last week, basically they have a gun on the doctor. And then the guy's like, "Time for the fisticuffs." And then it's like,
so ridiculous.
and they
right?
go after each other, just like hitting each other for a while. And then they're like, "Really showed you." And they grab him and bring him to the captain. They still got a gun on him. Could have murdered him at any point. They're terrorists. They're going to murder all of Washington, D.C., apparently. But not this guy. Because Eric Roberts is like, "I'm going to make you watch." Or something like that. Like, I'm going to make you, like, watch it. And then you're going to be real sad. It's like, what? He's literally killing half of your crew. Like, he's ruined almost everything.
Wow. This guy literally wouldn't have been a problem. He would have torpedoed him on the boat with the rest of the other crew, man.
And then he
But now
bring
he's
him
got
up to
this
the
personal
bridge
vendetta.
and let him just like shit talk him behind his back. Like, they're literally doing stuff, and the doc's like, "Good move." Get him out of there, or shoot him or something. Like, he seems like he's just making everyone angry, and he's sitting there being like, "Oh, nice one," in the back.
Well, but then there's always that other terrorist guy there who's like the quote unquote good terrorist. He's like, "Oh man,
Right.
maybe we're taking this a little bit too far. I don't know." And he's constantly questioning the captain every single step of the way. And maybe it's because he's psychotic at this point, but he's not killing that guy either.
Well, no, I think what he sees is he's looking around and he sees Eric Roberts, guy's Captain Dick out, and he's looking at that and goes, "That's not looking so hot." And I'm a little concerned that he might be a little psychotic.
Yeah, it's looking psychotic.
Yeah.
Google that. Bring that.
Psychotic Captain Dick? That's a
Yeah,
weird
see what that-
Google, but let's see.
See what
nope.
that brings up.
It does seem like I've Googled it before, so I'm just going to press enter. So yeah, and then they're off the rails at this point, and in the last, so they take the doc out of the con again because like, "Get him out of here," as like things are getting totally messed up, and the one terrorist takes him away. He's like, "You killed a lot of my friends. I'm going to take you out." And the doctor's like, "Or are you?" He like knocks a gun out of his hand or something, and like totally subdues him and kills him. And then he's on the loose again. And it's like, really? You had a machine gun on this guy. You decided to beat him up with your fists, bring him up to the comm to shit talk you for a while, and then he's able to escape again. It's like, good moves, terrorist. This is really nice. So he runs away and then immediately completely bones their reactor, which is like a pretty big deal because they're not able to go anywhere. It's kind of a last ditch. I think they've been kind of not doing that for a while because obviously the next step is Eric Roberts going completely off the rails and saying, then this is it. We're launching our nukes. Like, it's time. And so he starts setting up the scenario of doing it. So the good terrorist goes off. He's going to be the one putting in like the coordinates for where everything needs to go. He's going to be manning the weapons, and he's doing all like the turning of the keys. Eric Roberts up on the comm. And so we're all thinking, we're like, okay, well, obviously Washington D.C. is probably going to get nuked. It's the only logical conclusion to this movie, I think. But they're able to get up to the comm just the last moment, and they're like, "Stop!" And they gotta go. "Okay, I gotta get." And they're like, "Eric Roberts, don't even try it. And then he turns on the keys and like, oh shit. Like, and they shoot him and he like falls down and like, good thing there's no way he could possibly get up and turn the one other key to launch the nuke. And then he gets up and turns the key real quick and off goes the nuke. And you're just like, really? You're not going to like maybe take out one of the keys or do something to prevent weird corpse Eric Roberts to jump up and quickly launch the nuke? But they
just shoot him again, man.
Anything.
They didn't even give him the kill shot, right?
No, they really
shoot him and like.
Yeah, they really just looked at each other and were like, oh, thank God, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they gave that guy enough time to do whatever he wanted.
And so anyways, he's dead now, but that nuke is going, and we're like, oh man, it's too bad neither of these people were trained on self-destructing a missile. Wait a second! They were. We saw it.
Because there's a manual. They pull out the manual to find the code to self-destruct.
And honestly, if the doc had not been training earlier with the tech on this exact scenario, we don't know if he could have done it. Because it was pretty intricate. You had to open the booklet, look at the code, and then enter it. It was hard. That's some hard stuff.
That does not seem like something that would be like in like a standard workflow. Like, oh, in case this happens, here's the self-destruct sequence that literally anyone on the boat with access to this book that we leave open at all times can do.
Yeah, like, yeah, here's the book.
What?
It's sitting here right here. There we go.
Oh, okay. Oh, self-destruct. Cool. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that easy, really?
Yeah, and then it self-destructs, and the president high-fives. He's like, I give myself the Medal of Honor for doing such a good job. And everyone's like, true, Prez, love you. And they're like, where's that doctor? They're like, probably on the boat or whatever. Who cares? It's like, that's true. The end.
Yeah, that's it. Hell of a movie.
That's it.
That's an understatement.
Did I miss it? Where were the depth charges?
Good point.
Oh,
why was it called depth charge?
There were none, right?
I think the main character was the depth charge. Right?
Interesting.
Oh. See, that's why we bring Patrick in here. He's so deep and he knows
the brain.
this stuff.
It's a metaphor.
Depth charge. I think
Doesn't
it's.
use
Look at him smile
like or
about that.
as.
He's like, I've got it figured out.
I'm going to be honest with you.
It's not-
I swear to God.
he's not
I think
like
they
a
wanted to
depth
call
charge.
this. Sorry, go ahead.
I said it's not like a depth charge. He is a depth charge. But go on.
No, I was saying I think they wanted to call this crash dive because they dove I think 2 or 3 times, but they couldn't because they ripped off crash dive, and they couldn't make it that
They
apparent.
just should have called it Get Off My Sub.
Ooh.
But then you would have thought it was about submarine sandwiches because that's I say all the time about people who are getting all up on my submarine sandwich when I'm eating
Yeah,
it.
they get all handsy with your sub.
And I'm
There's
like,
a
get
lot
off my
of
sub.
formulaic
my
names
sub.
they could have went with, like Hostile Takeover and stuff like that.
That's a good one. I like that.
There you go.
It's like it's a perfect
Get Off
B
My
movie
Sub
name.
with the exclamation
My-
point. I'm going to wait for a film to actually get that name. That's a great name.
Yeah, that would be pretty good.
Get Off
That
My
is actually
Sub.
It's a really good name, actually. The more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, no, I like that. It tells you everything you need to know about the movie. Mm-hmm. It also tells you it's probably going to be silly, and it's probably going to star Eric Roberts and some other person from Iron Eagle.
Kelsey Grammer?
Is he from Iron Eagle?
No.
Okay.
But I could see him in this, right?
In this? Sure.
All right. Should we get into some reviews on this?
Yep. Zach has been quiet for way too
Quiet
long.
as a church mouse, man.
It's time to wake up the beast and get his review
Hello?
of this film. Hello?
Hello?
You there?
I'm here. I'm here.
Hey, bud.
Hi, guys. So, are we jumping in this?
We are.
We're jumping in, man.
Should I
Jump
do it
in
like
there.
my review last week? I think you guys loved that.
Sure.
It was really good. There was all this build up, and then you just like came out right out and said it. And I was like, okay, that was like 2 seconds.
Sometimes, Kyle,
Wow.
less is more.
Disagree.
True.
Zach's review.
Zach's review. Zach's review. I want to hear it. Zach's review. Give it to me. All right. It's going to be longer than last week's, but I will say I was not expecting much from this. And, you know, that's nothing to say that Jamie picked it, but I was not expecting a lot from this film until I found out Barry Bostwick was in it. And I was like, oh, hot damn, this is my jam. So I didn't do the Zach 2x speed watch through, but I did have to skip some of it, because I was grinding through it tonight before we recorded. But there's a lot of sub action. There's a decent amount of the Barry, but there's too much. Too much what? It's like I went to McDonald's and I got this awesome breakfast sandwich, but there was just too much of a topping I don't want on it. And that was like the middle chunk of the movie. So I know it was only like
mayonnaise?
85 minutes. Man, I hate mayonnaise. Yeah, I guess mayonnaise, and that works.
Too many onions.
I like onions.
Too much cotton
But it's 85 minutes long. It could have probably have been. This could have been like a hour-long TV special, is what I'm saying. And but I like the sub action. We haven't gotten a lot of sub action lately, and I liked Barry Bostwick. He was a good president. I'd vote for him. So let's give it. What do you guys think I'm going to give it?
4.5.
Lower. I think lower.
I think that's a little high. I think
it's
he's
high,
going
yeah.
with like a 4.
I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna go 5.
3.5.
I mean, I didn't hate watching this movie, so I'm going to give it a 4.6.
Wow.
Oh man!
I mean,
Really
I didn't
feels to
hate
me-
this. I don't think there's. I mean, it's just like one of those movies, You just have it on and that's it.
Really
Done.
feels like
And
you
like
were
you
going to
said-
give it a 4.5, but you didn't want to humor me.
Because
Nobody
you
wants
stole
to.
my 3 last week, Ben.
I can jump in.
So, like you said, you could even skip parts of this movie, Zach, and you probably didn't miss anything, right?
I mean, yeah, like this, and that's the thing. Like the middle chunk, like I liked. I mean, I'm biased. Right? I like Barry Bostwick. I think I talked about this during Moby Dick because I liked watching him in Spin City growing up. So if it wasn't Barry Bostwick, I probably would have given this like a 2.5. I'm just saying, but no, I like him, and I like the sub action. And you're right, the name makes absolutely no sense. But you know what? Whatever. We've been on a dry spell for a while, I feel like. So this is good.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump
All
on
right.
in. I think I kind of agree with a lot of what you're saying. I think this is good, solid sub action, really classic, so classic that you'd almost say it ripped off multiple movies. But I had some fun with a lot of aspects of it. I thought the doctor character, the lack of kind of character development, and he's just snapping necks for almost no reason other than a former amateur fighting career that somehow allows you to go around snapping people's necks left and right for seemingly no reason. You'd think his years away from the amateur fighting cage would have maybe had a little rust. Nope. No rust to be seen. He's snapping necks, no problem. And so I was always, that's funny. I thought Barry Bostwick was really funny as the president. I just think I feel like you're playing the president, and he was just like, no concept of the seriousness of the office. Really, it's just going to be like, yeah, I'm just chilling at my house, right? It's like, what you got for me? He's like, so someone comes in the room. He's like, what you got? And they're like, enough. Like at one point, he's just like, yeah, enough. Let's talk about something else. So I thought he was really
literally,
funny.
there's a point where he's out on like a patio, and he's like, "Oh, I was trying to hide."
Yeah.
What the hell was that?
Yeah, he's just like a really funny. It's just like a really funny performance as being like, you're the president, and him just being like, yeah, I'm Barry Bostwick. And they're like, no, you're playing the president. He's like, no, but I'm like Barry B. Come on. It's like, what? Okay. And
There was
so,
like one part too where Eric Roberts commented like on how like of a hard-nosed like president he was though too, which was kind of funny. It's like, well, there's a reason he got elected. This guy's a pretty hard ass,
so I had fun with that character. I had fun with just the kind of genericness of it and the different points that were being knocked off. We didn't even mention the other part that was really such a knockoff of Crash Dive. At one point, our main character, the doctor, he has like a radio, and he distracts his pursuers by using this radio to make it seem like he's somewhere else, which was in Crash Dive. In Crash Dive, we made the joke about how Dudikoff carried around a recorder to record his own voice to distract people. And we're like, where did he even get that? In this case, they have the exact same ruse where he distracts people, makes them think he's one place, and then he comes out and karate chops them real quick in the neck. So they were just lifting stuff left and right from it. So I enjoyed it. I think it comes
in
up.
that scene,
Yeah.
he like blew them away with a shotgun.
Well, in my mind, he's karate chopping all the time. Just like knocking
Okay,
stuff.
all
He's
right.
always kicking guns out of people's hands and the such. And yeah, so I'm going to come in a full Steel Sharks, 3.5.
Ooh.
I guess
That's
I might as well hop in right here. Yeah, so I mean, we barely even touched on my favorite part of the entire film, which is Corbin Burnson, because I'm currently watching Psych, and he is excellent in Psych. Actually, weirdly, like a star-studded cast from like the older gentlemen that are in the film. So funny enough, Eric Roberts, nominated for an Oscar.
True.
1986 for
Really?
for Runaway Train, which I think describes the movie exactly. I believe it is about a runaway train. And then Corbin Burnson was in L.A. Law, nominated for 2 Golden Globes. And then Barry Bostwick, of course, was nominated for a Golden Globe for...
Was that Spin
I
City?
remember Corbin Burnson mostly from all the reality TV shows growing up. I feel like he was making his cycle through all those after the limelight of his acting career was up. So I'm I think in The Mole and maybe Survivor and all those.
The Mole's so good.
Right.
But no, Barry Bostwick was nominated. I didn't think you were actually going to get it, for a mini-series, War and Remembrance, 1988. Who knew? He was also nominated for Best Supporting Actor in a DVD premiere movie for The Skulls 3. So there we go. Anyways.
It's gonna be War and Remembrance will be good for our podcast we launch, where we do the War and Remembrance Minute, where we do every minute of War and Remembrance is an episode of the podcast.
I'm down.
Which season is that?
No, that's a spin-off of this series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anywho,
I needed to
I
make
like
sure I
the
didn't need to
older
record
gentleman.
record something there.
I like the older
Say what?
gentleman in the film. I like Corbin Burnson. Barry Bostwick was hilarious throughout the entire thing. Eric Roberts being psychotic on weirdo pills for his brain was amazing. And it fully made up for the fact that the main 2 characters had 0 personality and somehow managed to just run around and just like do nothing of interest to me. I just wanted to get more of that Corbin Burnson.
Do you know who the tech was? The electronics tech?
No, I have no idea.
He's from a High School Musical.
Okay, that makes sense.
He's one of the main
Anyways,
characters.
I think what I'll say is that I didn't really enjoy watching the film because it just sags pretty heavily in the middle. It just does a lot of the same stuff over and over again with the guy running around. If you gave me just a full... Just show me the movie, but 100% Barry Bostwick's perspective, I would watch that and prefer that much more. So I'm going to come in... I think I'm going to come in a 4. I think a 4 makes sense for me.
All right.
Wow. Wow.
I can never remember my ratings for previous films, so I pick random numbers.
Don't worry. I think you guys are giving this some... This is coming in higher than I ever thought it would.
Generous.
Well, let me
That's why they
pile
call
on
it
then a little
Jamie's
bit.
good, and that's why they call it Jamie's Good Movie Month.
Oh, okay.
Let me pile on a little bit, and then Kyle can counter and bring it down however much he needs to bring it in. Because
All right,
I'm
good.
coming in similar to Patrick. I thought this was a surprisingly competent film, but I also agree with Patrick that I think the weakest part were kind of the 2 guys that seemed to dominate most of the film, being the doctor and the electrical engineer. You could tell they were, bantering back and forth, and it was pretty weak and poor acting. But other than that, I felt like the acting was serviceable. From Barry Bostwick, Corbin Burnson, Eric Roberts, and the henchmen and all of that. I kind of liked watching the plan of Eric Roberts dissolve away, whether this was a realistic scenario or not, and real medication, and like this was how someone with a brain tumor would actually act. I obviously have some skepticism, but watching it dissolve the plan and his henchmen kind of start to like question, do we give up? Do we cut ties? Do we run? That was kind of fun. They waded into some uncharted waters there a little bit. Of course, the rest of the movie being very derivative of other films, AAA titles. So that was kind of interesting. But I think everything else has been covered already by you guys. I won't ramble on too much more. I'll just go ahead and say I think this was better. Most recent films we watched here, I think this was better than League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I'm going to give this a 4.
All right. And then, man, and then when you say that, like, was this better than League of Extraordinary Gentlemen? It's you're coloring my review here a little bit, Brom. But this film, I'm putting quotes around that. This generic thing, whatever we just watched, is a mashup. And Jamie, you texted me, you said, what movie does this remind you of? And I was sitting there, and like I said, I figured it out today. I was like, my God, it is just like that movie. They basically remade that movie. And if you're going to remake a movie, why are you picking some Michael Dudikoff film to remake, right?
I think the problem was that the Dudikoff film is probably a ripoff of another film. So who's to know?
So we got a rip-off of a rip-off. It's like when you make a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy, right? It just gets worse over time. I don't know. But whatever. That's besides the point. I don't know why they're doing that. We had the one movie they made, like, is this a TV movie?
It is. It was originally premiered on Spike TV.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So you got like 1,000 Ways to Die at 8 o'clock, and you got Depth Charge at 9, and you're like good to go. Had I watched it in that order, maybe I'd be feeling it. But there's so I don't know. There's so much stuff with this film that I don't know. It was just they're so generic. Like, this was a film. Zach said you could skip through it, and you could. That whole middle section, there's just this weird generic action running around the sub. There's stuff with the radio. All right, so he climbed down into the bottom of the submarine, and the guy's like, oh, no, there he is. Let's go get him.
Yeah.
He's armed with a tactical shotgun, and these guys are going to slowly climb down a ladder. You telling me you can't just sit there and get them while they come down? You got to come up with this elaborate ruse with the radio. I mean, whatever. It worked in the end. I guess same result, but whatever. It probably would have made him look like a monster if he did what I'm suggesting, so maybe that's why they didn't do it. He didn't. There is a time he did spare someone's life. He did not
kill the lady.
Well, at first. He did not. He did not kill the female terrorist.
Mistake.
I guess he ended up doing it. He did it later, right?
Right. Well, she turned out to be the most competent and most important person on the submarine, so then he realized the error that he had made.
Yeah.
I think he just shot her, right?
Eventually, yeah. But she was the one like fixing everything, and clearly she was like the most important. Even when they were like, we're gonna have to like sacrifice people to try to like save the submarine, they were specifically like, Chang, get out of there. Like you can't die. Like you're very important.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got generic acting. I wish this guy, the two actors, the doctor, I looked at him, I'm like, man, what if Armand Arsante played this guy, you know?
Good call.
Would I like this better? Probably. I probably would like it better. And then Barry Bostwick, while he did fine, you didn't even need that whole section of the movie. You talk about cutting out on a half hour of the movie. Like, literally, Brom, you mentioned at the end when they're high-fiving, like, you did so much. They literally did nothing. There was literally nothing they did other than spend $1 billion taxpayer dollars on these terrorists. They sent them the money. They did. It's like, what the heck? Why are they doing that? So, I don't know. It's really generic. It's fine. It's got a lot of sub-action. Like you said, we haven't had a lot of sub-action lately.
Couple wrenches.
We had wrenches. We had fire in the sub. We had water in the sub. We had a mutiny.
Captain Dick.
So these things all start adding up to give it, like I said, I got my little tracker and those bump it up just a little bit. So
no lucky coin though.
No lucky coin. I can't remember what I gave Steel Sharks.
Probably a 12.
But I'm probably going to have to... You think I gave that a 12?
Mm-hmm. It's probably a 3.
I gave it a 3. I'm going to give this a 3 as well.
All right.
Steel Sharks is our true north.
It is. I agree.
Zach, you got some love it or hate it here? He loves it. He hates it. He's loving it. He's hating it. It's Zach, and he loves to hate it.
One of these days,
Can we call it handle? Hate and love? Handle?
I don't know about that, man.
No. I was going to ask you what you wanted to hear first, Jamie, but let's skip over to this. Patrick, do you want to hear love it or hate it first?
I want to hear love it.
Love it. This comes from The Old Sailor, reviewed in the United States on July 2nd, 2013. 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it, is the title. I'm an old sailor, and I enjoy almost any movie or show about the Navy. So it's fiction, but it was close enough to real life to pull it off, and a great show. That's it.
Wow.
Wow.
I mean,
That's it.
I will
So the guy
say,
says he loves literally anything.
Yeah.
All right.
That is the definition of concise.
Just saying, there wasn't a lot of reviews out there, guy. 10 out of 10s, 5 out of 5s, or 1s. So
just a real quick question: Do we know if you watched Stinger yet?
if the old sailor did,
Yeah.
well, he's a verified purchase of this film. I don't know though.
So I don't think
On
he's
Amazon or something?
Gonna,
Yeah.
I don't think he's gonna love. I don't think he's gonna love Stinger. That's my guess.
Well, this next one, he did not love Depth Charge. Sorry guys, I don't have his name. Let me pull this one back up. Somebody just start singing.
Jamie.
Love it or hate it when you're going
Patrick
down.
said you have a beautiful
And you
singing
love it
voice.
when you're going down.
When you hate it.
Oh, baby, you hate it.
All right, I found another one. Sorry, that first one we're going to skip. Okay, here's one. 1 star, that's as low as Amazon goes. This comes from our friend Joe, reviewed in the United States on May 27th, guys, of this year, 2020. A typical B-list junk. First problem is the missile tubes on an Ohio-class SSBN are not forward of the sail, and they are a lot larger. Second, speed terminology for going really fast, especially when evading a torpedo, is all ahead flank. Third, the USS Florida is herself an Ohio-class SSGN, cruise missile submarine. The actual USS, now PCU, which means she's still being built, is SSN 794, which is a Virginia-class attack sub, Block 4 variant. If you're going to make a movie about subs, at least do your homework first. Biggest plot error is when Krieg fires missiles. A U.S. sub officer can't arbitrarily launch when they feel like it. The president has to initiate launch authorization. That's it.
Yeah, that's actually true because that was the thing that changed after Crimson Tide was made, right? That it no longer was the case that a submarine commander can unilaterally launch a nuclear missile.
Now, knowing this information from Joe over here, who knows his shit, good for you, Joe. Do you guys think Barry Bostwick was actually behind the whole thing?
Whoa!
No wonder he was so nonchalant.
Yeah, true.
Oh, what? They want to launch a nuclear missile? Oh, my God. That'd be a disaster.
All right, look at the targets. Look at the targets. Washington, D.C. Barry Bostwick, conveniently not there.
Lives in Palo Alto.
Yeah. Pyongyang, North Korea, Tehran. Like, what the heck, man?
Yeah, they just kind of pulled those out of thin air.
He's behind it. 100%. He probably had a bill that got shot down by Congress. He's like, man, I wish I could just nuke this place. Oh, wait a minute.
He was like, oh, clear out all those other submarines. And all the captains are probably like, no, we want the submarines to go and find them. And he's like, no, clear them all out. Just leave Corbin Burnson.
Now this is making more sense. And then at the end, when he's like, dude, you did a lot. And he's like, no, man, you did a lot.
You did a lot. Wink. I'm going to get you next in Depth Charge 2.
Where's that $1 billion going? Because there wasn't much resistance to just spend $1 billion, right?
They're like, transfer it quick.
Okay.
They're like, no, we're about to stop them. Like, no, quickly transfer.
I know, literally. So, I mean, maybe now we're looking like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah,
We got the
I'm
mind games here.
Feeling like a full 10. Should I get into some trivia? I don't have too much. I mean, one thing I will say is that I also had that same trivia that was just mentioned. The USS Florida is in fact an SSGN, similar to an SSBN, whereas, and actually an Ohio class, whereas the real USS Montana is the attack submarine, SSN 794. Isn't that interesting? So kind of reversed.
Quite.
Then director Terrence O'Hara is a prolific TV director, directing almost 50 NCIS episodes. Looking at you, Patrick.
Sub Rosa?
Okay.
Did he direct Sub Rosa?
No, I think he's more recent than that because that was kind of an early episode, right?
Yes, it was a very early episode.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So I think
I didn't realize that was the
season.
number one show in America.
Oh yeah. Why do you think Patrick watches it?
I don't still watch it.
He wants to be tethered back to America, even though he's overseas.
That's true. So when I clicked on Terrence O'Hara, one thing that was kind of weird is I was going down, I saw that I had already clicked on one of his movies from 1990, and I was like, what? And so why do you think that I may have been prowling around his IMDb page before, guys?
From 1990?
Yeah.
Michael Dudikoff film?
Because he directed a film called Double Vision, and it's hard to tell since it's such a little-known film, but I was suspicious that the premise involved twins. So I was searching around it, kind of being like, how can I figure this out? But there was an actress who was credited with 2 different characters, and I was like, they're twins. And it's called Double Vision. But it's got less than 5 votes on IMDb and really no information about it. So hard to tell.
Really? Can you find a copy of it?
No. Come on. Let's be real. Now, the writing of the film is more interesting. Dennis A. Pratt. We'll know him, obviously, as the writer of Kickboxer 3 and then Leprechaun 4, In Space. But he also wrote a film called Seconds to Spare, a.k.a. Operation Wolverine, Seconds to Spare. And here's a synopsis, and you can understand why it's important for us. When a deadly assassin hijacks a passenger train, he threatens to detonate a deadly can of poison that can wipe out an entire city if he isn't given $25 million. While the cops are attempting to thwart the madman, they decide to call former DEA agent Paul Blake, the one man who could possibly stop the fiendish plot. So, I think you guys know.
Yeah. Wait, so you said Kickboxer 3?
Yeah.
I have Kickboxer 2 here on VHS because I found that at a thrift store. And literally on the cover, it just says, better than Kickboxer. Like that's an endorsement.
That is probably not true. That's my guess.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's right on the box.
Since Patrick's here, he's going to be doing some trivia. I'm going to go straight to Phantom Zone if you got that theme song ready.
Oh.
Engage the Phantom.
Phantom's engaged, sir.
This guy's easy. We can use Barry Bostwick and go to Moby Dick 2010, or at least maybe, I can't even remember. I may have used Barry Bostwick to jump to this one when I did Moby Dick 2010. But that's besides the point. Anyway, I've done it before. Barry Bostwick is the key to everything in our lives. But also, interestingly, I don't know if you knew this, guys, but this is sometimes referred to as the lost biopic of Ed Harris's life. They actually refer to this movie quite a bit about that. And it's I think it's mostly because of his background as a submarine doctor / loose cannon in his amateur fighting career. So like there's just like a bunch of stuff that lines up that makes people think like probably a biopic about him. And he disputes this. He's like, no way. He does not. I mean, a mutiny by the XO, like that would never happen. So like, get out of here. He won't stand for it. It's ludicrous. Now, did he foil a top secret plan to take over a stealth submarine? Well, sure. And as he puts it, you know, I'm not saying I didn't, but I'm also saying that I did. And also Apollo 13 happened, but also involved terrorists. And then he like winks at the camera when he says that. The end.
Yep. I don't know what to do. I'm just looking at Patrick's face during that.
I was just waiting. I was waiting for the pin to drop.
Oh,
About
okay.
20 seconds into the stony silence after that snoring. All right, so you ready for some totally unrelated Jeopardy?
Oh,
I'm
yes.
ready, man.
Yeah, you'll find the subtle connection at one point during these. So who wants to start? The category is a film on your teeth. So this will be films that have to do with dentistry in some way.
I think, Kyle, you were the lowest scoring, so I think you go first.
And there's a connection? I thought I won the last one.
No, but I'm saying you were the lowest scoring for the movie, but you gave it a 3.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, start me off with 200.
All right. In this 1970 film, dentist Painless Pole Wildowski dies in the strains to the strains of "Suicide is Painless."
This is the 200?
See, we'll see if someone can steal. If you can't get it,
Somebody's going to have to steal. I have no clue.
okay.
A dentist film from 1970?
Say it again. So the dentist dies in the strain of what?
Yeah, it's not necessarily a dentist film. The character in this case is a dentist,
Right, yeah.
but it's in the 1970 film. In this 1970 film, dentist Painless Pole Wildowski dies to the strains of the song "Suicide is Painless."
Yeah, I don't know.
Sounds like a parody. Is it like Airplane or something?
No, anyone? No one got it. No one got it. Very famous TV theme tune. "Suicide is Painless," the TV theme tune for MASH.
MASH. Yeah.
MASH. All right. Who's up next? I guess. Yeah. Who wants to go second then?
I think I gave the second lowest somehow, so I'll go second.
So
give me. So this is 200, 400, 600, 800,000.
yes.
I'm just gonna go for it because I know movies. I didn't get that 200, but I'm gonna go for 1,000.
All right. This LA Law actor was back at the old drill in the 1998 horror sequel, The Dentist 2. Brace yourself.
My God, I have no idea. LA Law actor, Jesus, I have I have no idea.
Anyone?
It's gonna be a triple stumper.
The group can help. This, by the way, is the connection to this film. I've mentioned LA Law during this podcast.
Oh.
Corbin Bernstein.
Shoot, what's
Corbin Burnson.
It's Corbin Burnson. All right.
Wow.
Who wants to go third?
Jesus.
Zach will do it.
Yeah. What amount? 400, 600, 800?
Surprise me.
Okay. I'm going to give you 600. I'm going to go middle.
What'd you say that one week? Let It Ride or something like that?
Exactly. In the 1948 comedy The Paleface, he was Painless Peter Potter, an inept dentist in the Old West. How are you on your 1940s westerns?
Not good. So
Yeah, okay.
I'm just going to pass.
Pass. Anyone know the actor? Famous actor. Famous for his USO tours.
Oh, Bob Hope, right?
Is Bob Hope. Bob Hope. All right. Yeah, we got two more, but only Brom is left to choose. 400, 600.
Well, give me the 800. See if I can win it.
Oh, 800. Sorry. Steve Martin played Orrin Scrivello, DDS, in this 1986 remake.
I just saw Kelsey. Got distracted. Say it one more time.
Steve Martin played Orrin Scrivello, DDS, in this 1986 remake.
1986 remake?
Mm-hmm. Jamie knows it.
Would it be... Well, no, he'd be Cyrano. I don't know.
I got it. Buzz in. I'm going to buzz in. Buzz in.
Okay.
It's Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely fantastic performance by Steve Martin.
And that puts me in a tie with Kyle. At negative 200.
Great.
I'll throw this up for the group. In the 1976 drama, Laurence Olivier checks out Dustin Hoffman's dental work.
Buzz, buzz, buzz.
You got it?
Guess. Is it The Graduate?
It is not The Graduate.
Shoot. I'm losing.
Have you ever seen this one? He likes to run. And his brother is a spy.
Yeah, Marathon Man?
It's Marathon Man. There we go.
I've never seen that one, but yeah, I know.
It's good.
But
It's good.
That's crown me the winner at negative 200. Put the little crown on.
Exactly right. Yeah, it was a tough one. I didn't realize how tough it was until I started looking at them. I was like, oh, well.
Yeah, that's extremely tough.
I knew Jamie would get the Little Shop of Horrors, and then I thought someone would get Suicide is Painless, being the MASH theme. Very famous theme tune, as I said.
Yeah.
I mean, you know our relative ages, right?
I mean, I knew it.
Yeah, Kyle's 64. I'm 78.
Yeah.
Brom is 13. And Zach, how old are you?
I'm actually 14. I'm
somewhere
actually
between.
14 now.
Zach is
Surprisingly,
some
me and-
unknown age between those two extremes.
Yeah.
Something.
Me and Jamie are identical twins, but somehow a year apart.
Zach's like 2 years above me, so it's like 15, maybe 16.
I just got my temps.
Wow. That make for some weird podcasting, right?
Yeah, what's
A
next?
couple old dudes and then... Okay.
I think it's Bromatron, right?
Brom.
Yes.
You got anything for us tonight?
Of course.
Of course he does.
Tube 3 ready to fire, sir.
Commence the countdown.
Give it to me.
Okay, so we watched a film tonight called Depth Charge that had 0 depth charges in it. So I'm counting down some films here that have very misleading titles, very much like the one we watched tonight. All right. So I've got 10 of them. I'm not going to describe them. I'm just kind of going to run through them here. Use some help from friends and use some help from a few lists online. Seems to be a common thing. You can find some people that feel they were deceived by the title of the film. Starting with number 10, Triple X. Extremely non-pornographic Vin Diesel film that I watched a lot of growing up. Had it on my PSP, on my Universal Media Disc.
Wow, do you still have it?
No, I think I sold everything that went with my PSP and bought Guitar Hero.
But I guess it's very appropriate for this podcast, that misleading title, because we have our own Triple X misleading title that has gotten quite a number of listens.
That's true. Lorelei. Bitch of the Pacific Ocean. Number 9 is Rain Man, which my buddy, I think Thomas said, strangely enough, is not about a meteorologist.
Jesus.
What is a weird
Number
Number
8.
8. Make it and make it as one.
Number 8 is Apocalypse Now, a film that is not about the apocalypse happening right now. Number 7 is 12 Monkeys, a Bruce Willis film with a decisively small amount of monkeys in it.
Yeah, only 1 or 2, right?
Maybe 0.
Or was that a lion? It was a lion, right?
I don't think there's any monkeys in
They
there.
released zoo animals at one point on the highway.
Including 12 monkeys. Oh, actually, that's kind of where it comes from, right? Because they released monkey.
I thought they said it was something to do with
I
the digits on a clock.
I would imagine
Because there was a
it had
countdown
something to do
or
with the
something.
plague, wasn't it? Man-made.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Number 6 is $1 Million Baby.
Oh well. Guess she was a full-grown adult, wasn't she?
This is a good list. I like this. Is funny.
Yeah.
Number 5, I'm going to go with Failure to Launch. If you come here looking for a space movie or something along those lines, you're going to be disappointed when you find a rom-com with
SJP, dude.
Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey, right?
Is that Sarah Jessica Parker?
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
How
like
to Lose
that.
a
Dude,
Guy
you
in
see
10 Days.
Terry
That's-
Bradshaw, butt naked.
Yeah.
We
I
just
remember
watched
that.
a
Zoe
film with
Deschanel.
Terry Bradshaw. That's true.
That's true.
She's in there? I didn't know that.
No. We just watched Father Figures, where Terry Bradshaw is like all over that movie.
Plays himself.
Is he nude again?
Was he nude?
No.
No, but he was bearing his soul, so it's close.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Does anyone get bit by small rodents like squirrels and stuff like Matthew McConaughey seems to in Failure to Launch?
No. There's a cat with large testicles.
That's true.
Really?
Yeah.
They stare at. They go, look at those testicles.
They're
Next.
very large.
Zach cracking the whip over here. Number 4 is Pineapple Express.
Ah, I like that movie.
That is a good movie.
Yeah, but if you come looking for pineapples or maybe something with a train, you're going to be disappointed. Because I guess Pineapple Express is a name for a Pacific Northwest weather system.
It's the name of the weed that they buy as well in that one, right?
It's not. They cleared that up, but it's not a name of a weed in that.
Oh, okay.
Number 3 is Dances with Wolves. There's very, very little, if not none, in the categories of both dancing and wolves in that film.
It's got Zach's favorite actor in it.
My guy.
Mary McDonald.
The cost. Number 2 is Layer Cake. I think I watched this a couple of years back. There's nothing with baking or cakes, or found out recently layer cake was the name for the Russian nuclear warhead that they tested on the frozen island north of Russia. But no, this is about a gritty Daniel Craig. It might have been a heist movie. I can't remember now. It's been too long since I've watched it, but nothing to do with cakes.
Was it a drug? It was just like a drug kingpin movie.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Moving up.
And finally, number 1, I think this is the funniest title now when you think about it in terms of misleading titles, but The Constant Gardener.
Yeah, true.
This is a political film, thriller, starring Ralph Fiennes, and doesn't involve someone that gardens throughout the movie, thank God.
Yeah, true.
And they're not doing it constantly?
Nope.
Do they just do it sporadically?
There's not even, I don't think there's any gardening whatsoever.
Wow.
There must be something.
Really?
Can I say what my most misleading title is?
Sure.
It's Thor, because I didn't even see Kyle's dog once in that movie. Not a single time. Thor, no
Inside jokes. Crushing.
Yes.
And those are...
I'd watch a movie about my dog.
I would also do that.
Those are my top 10 films with misleading titles.
Was it good? I like that.
Next time, can you do actually top 5 dogs with misleading titles? I think Thor would be on the list, and Patrick's dog Tolstoy.
Reservoir
might be as well.
Dogs.
No, I'm saying
Reservoir
actual dogs with
Straw
misleading
Dogs.
Actual dogs with misleading names.
It'd be like if you had a Great Dane, but it was named Tiny.
Right. That's misleading.
I get what you're doing.
As Jamie was trying to say, my dog's name is Tolstoy, but he is not a Russian author in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
he's big on the gram.
You watch him 24/7? You ever
Oh, we
see
do.
what he does at night?
He has severe separation anxiety. I do actually watch him 24/7.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you know he's not just there pawing away at your computer.
No.
No, but that is
what
a
is
little
this masterpiece I just wrote?
It's a little known fact about Tolstoy, the Russian author. Severe separation anxiety.
Yeah, that's true. Loved his wife. That was her.
All right. Kyle, did you have anything at all? You weren't going to do. I know you weren't going to do something.
I brought myself here tonight.
Oh,
so I have to admit to all the listeners, I'm a piece of trash. I was up playing PlayStation real late. I should have done my segment.
And that's PlayStation Worldwide.
Yeah. Ghost of Tsushima. Let's talk about it. Anyways, whatever. These have been going long, so I was like, why don't I go ahead and save
tighten
us some
this guy up
on this one. A little bit. And now, Zach, you got something?
You talking facts? Because
you know I am.
Let's hit it. Zach Facts, it's Zach Facts. When you're going down, get some Zach Facts when you're going down. So, how about last week's?
It was something else, man. Not gonna lie. I was shocked we held on.
I was shocked. I was like, I can't. This is Stupid. I can't believe they're doing it.
I was kind of hoping you'd go full measure just to see if we would hang in there.
I was. When
bet we
you
would've.
said that was only half of it,
I know, right? I was so over it. I was like, I'm done. I'm like, there's no way they're going to let this go.
and we did.
Because you love and respect the facts. What's the over-under?
Yes, we do.
Over-under this week is... Zach said he was maybe not even going to make it. I'm just going to go over-under 3.5.
So Zach liked this movie a bit. I'm going to go over.
I'm always going to go under, I think.
I'm going to go under on this one.
Over.
An even split.
Even split.
Fact number 1.
Oh, we got a cat. Shows up every time Zach does his Zach facts.
Ooh, we got a cat in the house?
Yep. Got to get this cat.
All right. Well, guess we'll just sit here and entertain people. So, what else is new? A lot. Yeah. Waiting
This
on.
is really good stuff.
I mean, but what
Waiting
is?
on Randall Cobb over there to get the cat
But what
out
is?
of the window.
What is? Hey, what do you got? What kind of windows you guys got? 2, 3 layer? What do you got?
Triple layer? I have no idea. Oh,
Triple
there's a
layer?
cat.
I think mine are just dual pane, man. to be
Dual? I
honest.
mean, triple's kind of what you want, I think, in terms of energy efficient.
Especially in Minnesota, man, where it's cold as it can be.
You got a lot of
Look at that cat.
Do you get a lot of raccoons out there, Kyle?
No, not on my property anyway. We have a lot of rabbits. I'll say that.
I like
but,
rabbits. They're cute.
Wow.
Yeah.
For all the
caught
listeners
one in
out
my
there.
window well the other week. You know.
Oh, really?
I had to. Yeah, I was really scared. I did not. And then eventually it was like, okay, this guy needs to pick me up so it can get out of here.
All right, I'm going to give Ben about 6 seconds. I'm just going to start going.
Yeah, you better.
Count me down.
You better just go. 1, 2,
Said down.
3,
6, 5,
6,
4, 3.
All right, I'm starting. I
2.
don't care. Oh, there he is.
There's Randall Cobb.
Did you wait for me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Fact 1.
Did you guys like that cat?
I did. It's very
There's
cute.
no
cat.
way.
Jason Gedrick, right?
Yep.
Jason Gedrick, ladies and gentlemen, had a choice between Depth Charge and another major 2008 film. During an interview, he still thinks he went with the right choice instead of this Dark Knight movie.
Oh.
Starring
Who's
A.
going to play?
Roberts.
Joker. And then they cast
Play
Heath
the
Ledger.
Joker.
Yep, and then they
Yeah.
had to go with their second choice, which was Heath Ledger. But their third choice was Barry Bostwick, so he almost had it.
Oh. That would have been.
I'd pay money to see that.
I can't even
It
imagine
is amusing
that movie.
to think about that, yeah.
I'd love to see that. All right, let's go. Let's get a Zach fact for the culturally diverse Zach fact. Famous Zimbabwe director Roger Hawkins was so inspired by this film, he wanted to make his own version for the Zimbabwe Navy and submarine fleets. However, this did not happen, and the reasons were never disclosed. Does anybody want to guess?
They don't have submarines?
You're correct.
Wow.
Zimbabwe's landlocked. Guys
Is
think
that an actual like Zimbabwe director? Is
Roger Hawkins? No, yeah, he's real.
Yeah. Oh, okay, all right.
Shout out, number one fan.
Zach did his research.
All right, I guess that's it with just 2. Not! Zach fact 3.
All right, everyone's still in it.
Barry Bostwick demanded to be hypnotized for his role as president. But, unfortunately, he was never able to snap out of it.
I mean, it would kind of make sense, right? He's just kind of trudging along.
He thinks he's still president right now.
Actually, I think he got re-hypnotized when he did that 2010 Moby Dick because he was off the chain in that movie. He was
he was.
crazy.
His makeup was great. Anyways, that's it.
Yes, the under guys win.
Disaster.
Wow.
Just 3. Ended on a chuckle, though, so I'll take it.
Patrick, do you remember? So you had said it was suicide is
Painless.
What for the...
Suicide is painless.
Do you remember? How does that go? Is that the one that's like boo doo 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 doo? Is that MASH?
No.
No.
Cut? Are we done?
That's a MASH. You know what? That's a MASH cut.
Thank you for listening to Submersion. Don't forget to subscribe for new episodes every Thursday. If you like what you heard, please leave us a rating wherever you listen. Want to interact with us? Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We also love to get messages from all of you. If you have a suggestion, a comment, or just anything you'd like to share, please email us at macestudios@gmail.com.